Welcome back to our channel World of Royals.
In this case, about whether you think the birth was real, whether you think there was a surrogate, whether you think Meghan was wearing a moon bump, the fact is Harry and Meghan lied. Buckingham Palace lied on their behalf. There was a complete cover-up over the birth of Prince Archie.
I can't stand the inauthenticity. It has to stop. I tried with you, Meghan, really. You got to pick a lane. You got to stay in it, okay? That's all I'm saying.
Like, why lie? It was just so truly bizarre.
That belly looks very abnormal. That it looks very strange. If you look up close in the video, and I encourage people, look at this. It looks like there's like a bag or like some sort of something shoved up under a dress. It does not look like a pregnant belly. It looks all bumpy. It's very strange. It looks like what you'd get if you put like a pillowcase full of like socks or something.
What if one of the most talked about royal births wasn't the fairy tale the public was told? For years, Meghan Markle and Prince Harry presented Archie's arrival as a moment of privacy and independence. But behind palace walls, whispers have grown louder. Some believe the carefully controlled story may have hidden something far more complicated. Now critics claim new details could challenge the polished royal narrative, and at the center of the controversy stands one outspoken voice, Candace Owens. Candace Owens says she's uncovered what she believes are major
Meghan is a trained actress. What she does is that she studies people. She's not a good actress, but she is a trained one, right? She's been doing it her entire life. And there is no doubt that she studied Princess Diana. She studied her mannerisms towards Harry when he was a boy and the way that she grabs her face. And this is the psychopathic elements of what she does, putting a pregnancy text next to Princess Diana's hair, saying that she put her hands on the grave to have a conversation with her, bursting into tears. And she has convinced there's a thing called in psychology called the Freudian transfer.
Something like that. So she wasn't even pregnant. So it's very weird. And Harry it was said to Harry, not to her. I mean, she just came.
Predictions in Meghan's pregnancy story. According to her, the details surrounding Archie's birth raise serious questions that have left royal watchers and commentators stunned. From passages in Harry's memoir to rumored hospital records, the official timeline doesn't just seem confusing. To critics, it appears almost impossible to point to epidurals.
She has convinced Harry that she is Princess Diana, except this time he has an opportunity to save her. That is the truth. And it's worked, right? So she's done this convincing performance for Harry that I don't know how I ended here. I just love you. And I'm just like your mom. And the one chance that you had to save your mom again, when he recounts that tale and the things that she said, she threatened homicide on her unborn child and suicide on herself. And then she convinced Harry that it was his idea to leave the UK.
If he can't see the writing on the wall that she is trying to embody his mother, even when he told a story about how she said she was going to commit suicide while she was pregnant and that she was having suicidal thoughts. And you can see in everything that she does, she tries to put this pressure on him of like, well, look what happened to your mom. Like that could happen to me unless we do exactly what I want, which is to move back to Los Angeles and to be the A-list actress that I never was and to be in those circles.
A rushed hospital exit and conflicting explanations about why the press was kept away. When you start connecting the pieces, the narrative begins to feel less like a royal fairy tale and more like a story full of gaps. Each new detail only adds tension, raising a bigger question. If even one part of the official account falls apart, what does that mean for the rest of the story? So, what exactly was the royal family trying to protect or conceal?
And I think that she's manipulated him using the death of his mother, which is so creepy and so scary. And I think that he's got some weird maternal syndrome with her and that he thinks that he can somehow save his mother by doing everything and making sure that Meghan is happy.
If you had those things, it would be very easy just to put them out there and say, this is what happened. You know, this is what it is.
Inconsistencies critics point to are real. It suggests the public may not have been given the full picture. The celebration of Archie's birth, once embraced by millions, could instead mark the beginning of a deeper mystery. To understand it, we need to examine every piece of the timeline step by step. I end Prince Harry's memoir. Meghan is said to have given birth at London's exclusive Portland hospital.
With either Archie or Lily, and it needs to happen. They need to prove that those children, Meghan and Harry, are not entitled to privacy in this matter. And their privacy is trumped by our right to know that no bastard is going to sit on the throne of this country.
He describes her very well, and he does this by taking a look.
Absolute media manipulation. But I thought tonight this was really ridiculous.
But that's where the story begins to raise eyebrows. According to the account, Meghan received 2 epidurals and was back home with baby Archie just hours later. On paper, it sounds smooth and controlled, but medical professionals and experienced mothers say the details don't quite add up. The claim of 2 epidurals immediately caught the attention of medical experts. And
there's very strange bumps coming off of that pregnant belly. I don't know why, Stu, but for the first time ever, I'm kind of like, is this something we should be indulging? Because it doesn't look normal to me. The belly doesn't look normal, doesn't look like where a pregnant woman's belly is. And I don't understand what all those bumps on the belly are. I don't get it.
She suffers from such a rare disorder of being unable to just be a human. I've never seen this sort of before. I've never seen someone that struggles to just give us like one strip of authenticity.
Epidural isn't a simple injection. It involves inserting a tube near the spine to deliver pain relief during labor. Replacing or repeating the procedure mid-labor is extremely uncommon and carries risks. That's why many professionals say the scenario described in Harry's account sounds medically unlikely. Then there's the timeline itself. Most new mothers remain under medical observation for at least a full day after giving birth, especially when strong pain relief is involved.
So she's saying, you need proof that I'm authentic? I just dropped myself twerking. Obviously, I'm authentic. So she's bringing that up to say there is now PR. I have proven that I am authentic because I twerked with my husband in a room. That's not a normal way to answer the question. If somebody asked me about my authenticity, I would say I don't need to justify that I authentically am who I am. Put up a camera, fixate it, and then both of you start twerking. Because in her mind, she was thinking, I'm going to release this later in a Netflix doc or release it later to show people how relatable I am. Otherwise, you can have a cute moment with your husband without recording it. Like, why would you record this for any reason? Why would you record this in the...
Yet Harry's version suggests Meghan was already home with baby Archie just 2 hours later. When you factor in travel, paperwork, and newborn checks, critics say the timing simply doesn't make sense. Even in the most generous interpretation, the sequence of events feels rushed and strangely polished. Medical experts say childbirth rarely unfolds so perfectly. And if the timeline doesn't align with standard medical practice...
I think she was about 7 months pregnant, and this is when they were still within the royal family. And she said, I was going to myself, but I didn't do it because I didn't want you to suffer the same thing that you suffered with your mom. She actually came out and said that. Doesn't make you sound like a better mom. It makes you sound like really kind of into yourself in a way.
It leaves people wondering why such a version of events was presented to the public in the first place. Traditionally, the birth of a royal baby follows a carefully structured protocol. First, the monarch is informed. Then, an official notice is issued. Finally, the press shares the news with the world. But when Archie was born, those traditions seemed to vanish overnight. Instead, multiple explanations emerged for why the press was kept away, each one different from the last. The confusion didn't stop there.
Why would you do that? That's not necessary.
Silence everybody and just produce a DNA sample or proof of delivery.
It's like she's playing a human being, like it's a performance.
This scandal comes as no surprise. Speculation about the children has been simmering for years.
Royal reporters received conflicting updates about when Archie had actually been born. Some were told the baby had already arrived hours earlier, while others were still being told Meghan was in labor. For an institution known for precision and protocol, such mixed signals raised serious doubts. Soon, speculation spread far beyond the press room. People began asking whether the chaos surrounding the announcement was accidental or carefully managed. Was it simply a breakdown in communication, or was the confusion meant to distract from something more significant?
We're paying multi-million-dollar PR firms to tell your story the way you controlled it, the way you wanted it told, while you also disparaged and silenced others.
A week after she drops this, she goes on a podcast. She gets a lot of hate. People don't think you're authentic. Like, what do you have to say to people who don't think you're authentic? And here's what Meghan Markle says.
You have to be authentic. Just be authentic. Did you see my baby mama dance? I mean, stop it. First of all, can I just tell you, the timing of that, we were We maybe watched it like 20 times yesterday, and I was like,
okay, let's come out of there.
Professionals returned to the detail that started it all: the claim of 2 epidurals. In standard childbirth procedures, an epidural catheter stays in place, and the dosage can be adjusted as needed. Completely replacing it during labor is extremely rare. That's why doctors reviewing the account say the description raises more questions than answers. The recovery timeline adds another layer of doubt. After such an invasive procedure, hospitals normally keep patients under close observation. Complications like low blood pressure or nerve issues require monitoring.
But if she hasn't had the children herself, or Harry hadn't been involved, then they can't be in the royal line. They have to have royal blood, those little ones. Without that, there's no chance of them becoming a member of the royal family.
A royal physician was not allowed to examine her womb. I mean, I don't know about anybody else, but if I were pregnant with a royal child, you would want that child in the best care of the best medical practitioners that money could buy.
Yet the story describes Meghan leaving the hospital almost immediately, something many experts say contradicts typical medical practice. Childbirth isn't something anyone simply walks away from within hours, no matter how famous or privileged they are. Even after uncomplicated deliveries, doctors usually monitor both mother.
Harry and Meghan Markle's surrogacy scandal has entered the mainstream media domain.
Our fathers. So we have to include the men when we are self-glorifying. You know, there's got to be some acknowledgement.
And baby for at least 24 hours. Vital signs are checked, recovery is assessed, and newborn examinations are completed before discharge is even considered. If complications were involved, as Meghan once hinted, the stay would likely be even longer. That's why critics argue the timeline described in Harry's memoir clashes sharply with what medical professionals consider safe and responsible care. As more people examine the story, attention shifted to Portland Hospital itself. Anonymous staff members reportedly questioned certain details from Harry's memoir.
And then you had this idea with your husband that you should twerk and put up a camera. That's the part that really bothers me. Put up a camera, fixate it, and then both of you start twerking.
People think her kids are fake. They think they're AI.
One example involved late-night food runs that employees say don't match how the hospital actually operates. Another involved a secret elevator, Harry described, something longtime staff insist doesn't exist. Candace Owens seized on these inconsistencies, arguing that if smaller details begin falling apart, the larger story becomes harder to trust.
It bothers me first because it's a lie. She's not in the hospital trying to induce labor by twerking. The hospital will not give you a bed because you're trying to induce labor. You are not allowed.
Some critics believe the narrative may have been carefully managed, from hospital experiences to personal anecdotes, in order to shape how the public viewed the event. As questions pile up, speculation grows about why the inconsistencies exist at all. Were they simple mistakes, exaggerated memories, or deliberate attempts to control the narrative? The more the timeline is examined, the more the mystery deepens. Whatever the explanation, the contradictions have fueled a growing divide among the public. Some believe Meghan and Harry were simply trying to protect their privacy.
I have tremendous compassion for any person that is in an emotionally abusive relationship. So emotionally abusive that they have successfully isolated you from your entire family. It's not normal. There is no relationship that you should be in that should isolate you from your entire family.
Stuck because she was an actress who became a real princess, who wants to be an actress again, but has to continue to pretend to be a real
in a relentless media environment. Others argue the inconsistencies suggest a carefully crafted story designed to win sympathy and maintain control of their image. Either way, the debate has only intensified, with commentators like Candace Owens amplifying doubts that once circulated quietly. Today, the truth behind Archie's birth remains buried beneath layers of speculation and unanswered questions. Owens' commentary didn't create the controversy, but it certainly brought attention to it. For many observers, the mismatched timelines and conflicting details feel like puzzle pieces that simply refuse to fit together. And just when it seems the story couldn't grow more dramatic, another controversy enters the spotlight. Meghan's own sister, Samantha Markle, has made claims about Meghan's age and past that could reshape how some people view the Duchess entirely. Whether these controversies are misunderstandings or signs of a carefully managed narrative remains an open question. What's certain is that the mystery surrounding Meghan and Harry continues to capture public attention. And as more details emerge, many believe we may have only scratched the surface of what truly happened behind palace doors.